Are you suffering from post-Olympic hockey withdrawal? The PWHPA, in partnership with the Pittsburgh Penguins, are pleased to present Canada versus USA, the Rivalry rematch, on March 12th at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. Tickets are linked on pwhpa.com and Ticketmaster. The game will be available locally on AT&T Pittsburgh and across Canada on Sportsnet 1. Stay tuned for national broadcast details for the USA.
The Knoxy and Kax Show with Liz Knox and Karell Emard. Let's get it. Go.
Good morning, hockey fans. This is the Knoxy and Kax Antique Roadshow. I'm Liz Knox in Washington, D.C. Karell is joining us from somewhere in Florida. And you might be asking yourself, why are we podcasting from all these different locations? Well, the answer is simple. Jill Saulnier is on today, and we would do this from the moon. We're so excited to have you on, Jill. Obviously, two-time Olympian, graduate from Cornell. Hail all, hail Big Red or Cornell or something like that. And PWHPA member for the Montreal region. Most recently, of course, coming back with the gold medal from Beijing. We're so happy to have you home. What was it like coming back?
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I know we were chatting about it earlier, but when I landed in Montreal, Kax was the first person I saw.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. Had to make it special in Montreal, too.
So there you go. The best homecoming ever with a gold medal. Yeah, honestly, it was wicked. Like, we landed there and they instantly, I knew something crazy just happened when we got off that plane, because they escorted us to this one section in the airport. And I was like, something just happened. This gold medal means something now. And then we went down and just cameras, fans, family, just all the most important people there, cheering and flags everywhere. It was cool. It was wicked.
That's awesome.
And that one was in Montreal, right? With a lot of the speed skaters were back and a lot that way. But I want to know a bit more. So with that, you came actually officially home yesterday or the day before?
To Halifax last night.
Last night, which was which was March 3rd. And how was that? Because I know your mom, and I know she loves to put events together, and I'm sure there is going to be tons of people. And how was that? Just tell us about it and the feeling of seeing your friends.
Sure. So for those who don't know, my mom's how many people can we get in one room to celebrate this opportunity? She's lose her voice. She's I need to sleep for a week after the Olympics.
She's exhausted. She's been through it.
That's fair. Honestly, that's actually fair. Based on your social media, that's super fair. But she literally, she put it out there and was come to the airport, listen to this thing. Anyways, she said, she'd text me. She's I have hundreds of people coming to see you. I haven't brushed my hair in 4 days. Okay. So I'm okay, that's fine. And excited. But then I was okay, this is going to be awesome. And then didn't we have a huge blizzard yesterday?
Oh my gosh.
Accidents everywhere. My best friend's a cop. She's I'm pulling cars out of ditches all day. I'm don't come. We'll chat a few days. Anyway, so when I did arrive at the airport, all my family, all my friends, all my circle, the people who got me this were there. So it was honestly the most perfect thing ever.
It's true. It's incredible that you put words on it like that, because it really does take a village. You've been through highs and lows, and you kind of always try to fall back on your support system, and they're there to celebrate the highs with you and pick you up in the lows. So obviously we all knew you were going to have a great homecoming, and it's amazing that you got to celebrate that with your friends and family. So let's talk about Halifax. Let's talk about your time growing up there. Maybe a little bit more about your family and your brother. Just what it was like in your family, obviously huge hockey family, and give us a snippet of what your childhood was like.
Yeah, I was actually, it's funny we even talk about this right now, because we were literally talking about this morning. I was with my mom and her husband, and just about when we were younger, and just the dynamic around our family. And it was so funny. We always played hockey. It's just in the genes. My dad's side, my uncles, they were all hockey players. And my mom tried when she was 40, and she did really well.
I love that.
She had fun. Let's do that.
That's all that matters, Steiner. That's all that matters.
She had fun. I came in and there's mini stick nets in the front. I'm why are you playing mini sticks? Yeah.
Working on the shot.
Like, okay. Anyways, no, we had a great dynamic growing up. Like there was always a rink in our backyard that mom and dad would both work on, because my dad worked for the newspaper. So he would work from like 7, 8 at night to like 3 a.m. And then mom would wake up at 7 and like go to work until 6 at night. So like mom was on the night shift and dad was on the day shift for taking care of this rink. So like they took care of their 2 kids and the rink in the backyard. Like that's like that was like their pride and joy. Which is kind of cool, because my neighborhood that I grew up in Westmount here in Halifax, I spend a lot of time now in, just because there's a lot of kids that are playing hockey there. I have really good friends there, but dad actually started this like trend of making backyard rinks. Like it just wasn't a thing. So the Saulnier Pond, that's what it was known as. It's in the city. And like, it's hilarious. Like today I'll like see kids I used to play with like 20 years ago, and they were like, oh, Saulnier Pond. And dad would like get skates for kids that like just never skated, and they would just show up and they would just like learn how to skate. So it was like, that was honestly like the core of like us growing up playing hockey, and that and road hockey. And like, that was just our like development, Brennan and I. So we became obsessed with it, and we kind of took it and ran. And, but we were just the family that always had a stick in our hand.
That's
awesome. I love the giving back to the community and doing it. I know you have your hockey school that you want to do always, and Halifax, and you and Blair kind of running it together. How is that? Like, do you think you're getting this like whole like, I want to give back to my little area from dad, basically, once upon a time, where he started the Saulnier's like pond or whatever he called it. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's in your genes that way as well too, not just hockey itself.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like that for me is like so rewarding. And here's a good story. We'll start off with a good story. So when we got back from the, hopefully I don't get like spammed on this with some of the things I'm going to say, but I'll get like flagged this podcast. I'm sorry. You guys did a good job so far. But
thank you.
Yeah. So my last, when I came back in 2018 with the silver, I mean, we were devastated, obviously, like Canada, pushes for gold. We are gold, right? We're golden country. And so when we got the silver, it was devastating. Like it was in our backpacks. But then when I came home, it was like I won something beyond a gold medal. People were like just so excited to see it. And like I wasn't at first. And I almost felt this like crazy level of guilt for like not feeling that excitement. But when I saw like these kids like hold this thing, they like were just, it was like something they'd never seen before. And it just like made the amount of kids that were like, I want one of these. And like that, when I started, like when I felt that, when I saw that, that's when I was like, okay, like this is a cool thing. Like this is more than just the color of this medal right now. And I made it this like personal mission of mine to see how many people I could let wear this medal. And I'm not kidding you guys. It must have been 20,000. I was at an event one time I was out somewhere in the evening, and I saw the medal like on someone over there, and then over there, and then outside. Someone had it outside, and I was like, "This is not probably something you should do with the medal." But I loved it. And then when I see that medal now, it's just like, this is so cool. Like as many people held this and felt this and got this like little cool bit of happiness. And I was once at an event. I had a photographer with me where I was going just to get pictures, and this woman put it on. And I'm not kidding. It broke. Like this part, I probably shouldn't say this online. Like, people like put theirs like in a safe, and they're like, no one touch it.
Jill's like, woo!
Yeah. I see a stranger at the gas station. I'm like, bite it. They're like, okay.
Do I have to?
And I have photos. I have like 4 photos. It's like a picture of her. And then all of a sudden this part right here is on the ground rolling. Actually, it rolled, like it moved on the ground.
Oh my God.
And I'm just laughing. So I went to Home Depot and I asked for metal glue. And like, I couldn't explain like why I needed metal glue. And they're like, can you show us what you're trying to use it for? And I was like, sure. And I pulled it out of my purse like this. And they were like, is that an Olympic medal? I was like, yeah.
You know what's funny though? Like it's incredible because obviously like taking a little bit of a risk, just letting it pass around the bar or the restaurant, wherever you were. But there is a like level of respect. And I felt the same way because Joss was back last weekend with us when we were in Ottawa, obviously not playing, but she brought her medal. And like, she's just like, yeah, pass it around. No worries. And like, we're still like a team. Like, obviously nobody's going to steal it or, you know, try to break it or anything. But I'm just like, wow, it's like cool that you guys are so comfortable sharing that moment with everyone. Like,
that's everything. That's what it's for, you know, like,
and to your story too, it kind of switched the whole meaning of that medal, right? It was like something that was hurt maybe at first or hurtful to look at, to then the amount of memories or people that have, like you said, that brought joy to them. Like, I just love that. Like, not so much more meaningful.
It is. And I see it now. And like, I don't associate it with this like huge loss, this like tainted loss. Like I associate it with fun stories like that. And like these little faces that I saw glow. And, you know, Brad Martian, I was in an event with Brad and he like grabbed it from me and he was like, just like, wow, this is so cool. And we were like, you have a Stanley Cup, man. Like, that's pretty cool too. And he was like, no, this is like next level. Like he just like thought it was the craziest thing. And I think it was like, it took sharing it to seeing how proud people were to be like, this is cool. This is really cool.
No, I'm proud too. That's nice.
That's really cool. So we'll switch gears a little bit. I'm sure we'll come back to talking about your time with the national team. But talk to us a little bit about your time at Cornell. Like, what was it like when you first got on campus? What was the vibe? Like, how did you fit in there? Because you're, you know, a small town East Coaster. I mean, not really small town. Halifax. It's a decent city. But, you know, what was it like going to Ivy League school in the States?
Yeah. I mean, anyone who knows me and puts Ivy League in the same sentence is like, really?
Jill, what?
You're weasel in there. No, honestly, Cornell was awesome. It was such a cool school. And I remember going through that process in high school and selecting it. And I was away from home, as you guys know. So I kind of did it on my own. Like, I didn't really know anything about that process and where I wanted to go. But my parents really, really hyped on education. Like, my whole life, it was like, get good grades. If we get an A, it was like, where's your A+? Like, it was very, not in like a detrimental or pressuring way, but like in a way that it was like, get as high grades as you can so that you don't have to ever stress about your dreams coming true when it comes to university. So it was cool. When I was at these other schools, I was doing a lot of studying and we're doing work in the car and stuff. So when I got the opportunity to go visit Cornell and go to Cornell, I was just kind of mind blown, but it was honestly like it was kind of like a step back. Like, my life almost started to like really calm down because all I had to do was focus on getting good grades and playing hockey. And the whole process was incredible. We had an amazing team my freshman year, all the years.
Meaning Team Canada.
It was essentially Team Canada.
Yeah.
Team Canada.
You just pulled up and it's like, hey, Team Canada's playing you this weekend. Great. I love it.
Team Canada Cornell. First slew. You guys won. You still beat us.
Thank you. I'll take it.
You still beat us. Knoxy, they still beat us. Whatever. I forgot. I didn't even want to bring that up, but thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we did that.
Okay.
You didn't want to bring it up.
It's like slides on our phone. Bring up slew win. No, it was an amazing experience. Like, Cornell was such a cool school, and just like the camaraderie was something I never experienced either. Like, going to watch the other sports, the other athletes was really cool. And it's like, just being able to focus on school, and then of course the Hockey Canada dream as well. But as you guys know, like, the university vibe is just something totally different. Like, it's like that feeling of family and like the support that you have like from the whole school. It's such a cool vibe. And, you know, to be in upstate New York in this like kind of random, I never heard of Cornell when I was growing up. So to kind of like be in this random, you know, town, that was just like so engulfed in the school and the sport, and especially being on a team that was, you know, one of the ones that was like the popular sports in school. It was cool. It was really cool. We had like thousands of these like students and our friends just
and then the rink was always packed, like women's games, men's games, like the lax. It was awesome to play at Cornell too, like against you guys. Like, the Barnes was always vibrant. The campus is gorgeous too. So, we had a couple other Ivy people on our show, and then they were talking, the Dartmouth crew, a little bit big green, big red and stuff here.
Lots of big colors.
Lots of big colors.
So Ivy, let's be really, really creative with our names. But where I was going with that is more so we heard about a little bit of the sorority aspects of, Dartmouth, a little bit. The girls were a part of it. I don't know if you were part of any group or secret society or anything at Cornell. That's what they call them. Like, I don't know, or whatever. I don't know, but there's like some stuff like that. Or maybe you give us a little bit more of a feel of like what, you were like on campus there.
I was in a secret society, actually. I was tapped.
See, I'm not lying, Knoxy.
Talk about it.
I was tapped in Quill and Dagger, it was called. And it was like, when I'm telling you this on this podcast, you're going to be like, okay, this is a little weird, but a group of people
they come get you,
show up in cloaks. Okay. Get this. That's it. Yeah. She's out. She's going to the Washington game.
She went to Canadian school. She doesn't know.
Okay. What?
Yeah, like not to listen to this and then tell me if this is like normal, but because it's not. So they like come get you in the evening in cloaks. We had a big night, enjoying ourselves somewhere at a restaurant.
Extracurriculum.
At a restaurant. Activity. And then they came and got me. So imagine being, pretty, in a good place. Yeah. In a good place. And then someone shows up in a cloak to take you. Kind of a weird.
I feel like taking vibe here.
So they took us and then they blindfold you. And then you spend the whole night until 6 a.m. until sun comes up doing like activities with these other people who are like selected. And it's essentially just like people who have like kind of like done some cool things in their lives. Like I was in it with, with a girl that was like writing for the Times, at the time, and a girl that just published her third article or her third book on some kind of cancer research over in Uganda. And like, just these like very incredible, influential people. I felt very out of place. I was like,
okay, wait, I gotta ask.
Hockey.
I gotta ask. Back it up for a second. So these are like highly intelligent, highly influential people. What sort of activities are you doing? Like sit down and read the dictionary for the next 3 hours, or what?
You would think, no, it was like hilarious. Like we would go and do like, we're blindfolded. You have to like recite numbers from 1 to 50 without saying the same number at the same time. Like, just like we're climbing a rope at one point. Like we're just doing random things to like bond, team bonding.
Right.
And then on sunrise, we are up in this secret spot to not be named for the Cornell watchers. And we take our blindfolds off. It's mimosas and celebration because you were, one of 30 selected from the school to be in this secret society.
That is so
and it was so cool. Yeah, it was crazy. Cool. It was really cool. So we had like girls, Johnston and then Jenner, and then I was there, and then Poudrier, and then Micah. So like every year there was like different people selected, but the hockey team kind of had someone selected every year too, which was kind of cool. But it's something that you have forever. We were given a key to this specific tower that we have, and it's the same key, and we're the only ones that have it. So.
Jill, I have a question now on this. So sure. Super fancy society type of level of people and everything. Did you walk there, or did you use your little scooter to get to that point?
Why did they select me? Because of my zebra print motorized scooter. Okay.
With a hockey helmet.
Picture this. So I was mortified. I found this scooter online for $200. So I called my dad. I said, Dad, I don't want to walk. There's too many hills. I don't like hills. I don't like or stairs. So I'm like, there's too many hills. Trying to be on the Olympic team. And I was like, there's too many hills.
But no hills.
And he's like, I was like, I found a scooter for $200. Can you send me $200? I didn't have any money. So I bought this electric scooter, and I showed up in this, like, I shouldn't have been there. It was like this backwoods junkyard. I thought it was fine. I'm like, perfect. This is a dream. There was like zebra print duct tape on the seats. Anyways, it was the loudest thing you'd hear me from Clarkson when I was ripping around on it. And I bought this motorcycle helmet too. Anyways, someone stole my motorcycle helmet off my thing one day. So one of my teammates like so kindly lended me like a white Jofa hockey helmet. And I thought that was okay to wear. Like, why? Like, why did
she had a cage on, Knoxy. Like, there's a picture I saw, and I think it's Cooper. I don't want to re-correct you or whatever.
Cooper with the Jofa.
Yeah. White cage.
White cage.
And
this is the worst part. Knoxy, this is the worst part. I would drive this thing to games, and I used to wear stilettos, like pink, this high, and hoops in my hoop earrings. And I would ride this thing.
Oh, I'm crying right now.
and I thought that was okay. Like, I thought that was an okay thing to do. Like, that's so alarming.
Like, you thought you looked cool. Like, you didn't think it was kind of like,
and I was
gonna make people laugh.
And I didn't understand why I was single. I just didn't understand. It didn't make sense to me.
How can you say no to all this?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to find the picture. I'm going to send it to you. I have
Please. Oh my gosh. I would love to post that.
Jesse's going to put it for sure.
Yeah. Because
I'm in a hot, Jesse, go to Facebook. Old. Hot pink blazer. Hot pink blazer.
Oh my goodness.
Like hockey pucks. Anyways, that's what I got around here. Yeah, oh, you can hear me. Like, it was, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to bring it that far into
No, that is perfect.
But I wanted this to come out.
I love that. I love
so
that.
Bad. It was
my
so
God.
bad.
So maybe we can touch just a little bit before. You said, like, when you got to Cornell, and I don't mean to switch gears so fast like this, but when you got to Cornell, it's when your life kind of like got like stable. You only had to focus on one thing, or hockey and school. That's it. What was it like before? Because I know you left home early and you went to a few different areas. Just give us a little bit of that process, and then we'll move on from there. But
no, for sure. It was, so growing up in Nova Scotia, it was great, but there were like no girls that played. Like, definitely not enough to continue to be competitive and, and make the national team, which was my goal. So when I left in high school, I went down to Berkshire, played there. And then that's when the U18 program for Canada started to begin, because it was a later addition to the national program. So that started, and I got like a letter in the mail inviting me to the national camp when I was 15 years old.
Your mom kept it for sure.
100%. She got that. 100%.
It's somewhere in the books.
Oh yeah. She keeps everything. And then she complains to me about having too much stuff. I'm like, okay. But so I went to that, and then I was down there, and then I just needed to be in Canada and train in Canada. And I heard about this P-dub. I had no idea what it was. So I got invited to go up there and play. And when I went up there, my dad came with me to the Stony Creek tournament, and he came, I'll never forget this hockey moment. He came in and he was like, Jill, like, did you realize that these organizations are only girls? And I was like, what do you mean, like, only girls? And he's like, well, there's no boys. Like, it's just your Stony Creek Sabre from, when you're here to here. And like, that just like blew my mind that there was this many girls that love this sport. Like, I thought there was like 30 of us. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And then when I was ripping around that rink, like the Stony Creek tournament, you guys have both been there. And it was insane. And I knew it was where I needed to be. Like, I knew this is where I needed to be. This is the girls I needed to compete with and against. And I just stayed there. And I played for my junior team there. I played for my high school team. I went to Appleby. But in high school, I'll never forget, it was my grade 11 or 12 year. And there was 1 month of the year, it was in November, and I was on 5 teams. And I had gone from like Hockey Nova Scotia to Stony Creek to Team Atlantic to Team Canada to my high school. And I had 5 things in 1 month. And I felt tired for the first time in my life. I didn't understand what that was.
I can only imagine. God.
Yeah. And then that's when my parents were like, when you get to university, you're going to be, it's going to be great. You're going to have one team. And I just couldn't comprehend what one team felt like. Yeah. So that's why it was great when I got to university. It's because I did everything I could to make the national team. Like, that ultimately was my goal. So if that meant being on the ice in the back of a pond in the woods, and my free 2 hours of a day, like, that's what it meant. And I'm not in any way saying that someone has to do that, but that was just the mindset that we had back then, so that's what that meant.
Very cool. Very cool. So you left home, you were like 12-ish.
I was 14. I was 14. And when I went to Berkshire, I repeated my year because that was a popular thing to do for New England.
Yeah.
was to go down there, and they really hyped on that. And it had nothing to do with like your development or your education. It was more just like, come down here, get yourself an extra year. Maybe you'll get some more looks for university. And that's ultimately their goal, is to like propel you to the university. But my Olympic path took me left field. So it ended up not really mattering.
And I have a question, because like, if you don't know the answer, that's fine too. How much, or would you say, has it changed from when you were going through it to now? Like if we're, if there's a young kid in Eastern Canada right now, like, is it still as common for girls to come to Ontario or to go to prep school to play, or is there more opportunity there now?
That's a great question. And I get that all the time, because people come to me and be like, should I go? And I think the answer to that is like very dependent, but there are options. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like, before we just didn't have options. Like it was like, you got to go here, Jill, or you're probably not going to make it.
They're never going to see you. Yeah.
And they're never going to see you, right? It's visibility. I mean, we're still battling with the visibility fight, and we'll continue to do that until we don't. But yeah, I think now there are options. Like girls can stay out west. They have those elite leagues out west, and you can stay here and play in a midget league. So we're growing, we're getting there. We're not there, as you guys know. But I think definitely like crazy strides since when we were 15, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And really interesting. We are going to switch a little bit, but we had Cassie Campbell Pascal on a couple episodes ago, and she talked about being one of the first players to really get sponsorships, and then how she extended those partnerships into women's hockey, much like yourself. So I did want to talk about, because if you go to your Instagram page, you're a Bauer athlete, TELUS athlete, and then there's Porsche, which we all drive. We all drive Porsches. Yeah. Because we're pro hockey players. Yeah. It's my summer car. So talk us through this, sponsorship, partnership. How does Porsche happen?
So being from the East Coast, I feel like my whole family's grown up here. Like everyone's from here, and everybody knows each other here. So that sponsorship and that partnership, I honestly call it a partnership. It is more of a partnership, because I try really hard with all of my partnerships to develop like a friendship, and whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing to do, I don't really care, because, that's how I feel. And, that's how I want people who are, part of my team to feel, like a friend, and so Porsche, what happened was my contact Rick with Porsche, someone actually sent me an email saying, I know this guy, I play hockey with this guy, he works here, why don't you contact him? And they did it through just literally word of mouth, through shitty hockey, literally shitty hockey, I think. And anyways, he was with Audi and jumped over to Porsche Volvo. And of course, I just stuck with him, because he's been part of this, him and my best friend Izzy, they work, for Porsche Volvo. And it's just been more of a friendship, honestly. And, they just, anytime I come home, they're just like so thrilled to do that, to give me something like that, just because, not even for exposure for them, but it's literally just pride. Like I can just tell, like I don't even think it has anything to do with exposure, other than, it's great, for their brand and for the growth of sponsorships, for sure, for women's hockey. But, I've never seen someone so excited to give someone else a Porsche. It's like,
and on that level too, we say hi to Izzy. She'll love it. But Jill, tell us about a little bit of a video from Rick, right? So all players are getting, usually at the Olympics, like, hey, good luck, we're behind you, everything. And then I saw the one you were talking about it. And again, it's about the Porsche and what you could be getting. I just want to hear your take on his video and what it meant to you.
And what happened?
Yeah, sure. So we all got like reels, like our family and friends reached out to all of the families and said, send us videos, send us good luck videos. So obviously everyone's getting these like really nice good luck videos. And then mine comes in, and I knew when my family video came in, I was like, I warned everyone. I said, listen, this is going to be very humbling. Like, anyways, I came home, and it's, of course, like they're just, my friends they're hysterical, my family, and they're just joking around. They're like, good luck. We can't wait to ride on your coattails. Can't wait to get free beer with my gold medal ticket. Like they're just, anyways, Rick, my Porsche guy, he just, he I should get the video for you guys so you can attach to this, but he's standing in front of a $300,000 Porsche. And he says, Jill, all you got to do to get this Porsche is hit the net once. I'm like, and my whole team's watching this. And I'm like, dude, like
don't set the bar too high now, but hit the net once.
I'm like, is this our expectation? Like, this is good. This is cool.
Oh,
anyways, I hit the net.
So we'll see.
I hit the net once, so I'm going to get my car today. You better bet. And I'll send you a photo. I'm going today, yeah.
Like after we're done this.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's perfect timing. That's amazing.
It literally is. I'll send you guys it. It's not the $300,000. He would be literally ridiculous to give me that. I can't even stay in this chair straight right now. I don't know if I could drive a $300,000 car straight, but
secretly, I hope he does something wild with it, like paints it like, some
your
sort
face on the side of it.
He
would. Puts your dog's face on it or something, like just something
puts
ridiculous.
My phone number on the back or something like ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, that is so fantastic.
They're fun. Honestly, I have the best support group ever, and we just have a good time. Like it's fun. Honestly, it makes playing more fun too. because it takes that little serious side of it and complements it with just support.
And it's become part of your journey too. And the support system you have has been amazing too. Your friends are awesome.
Yeah.
They're to be around too. The fam too. We saw your mom earlier. Hopefully she comes by at some point in the episode, and then our listener.
No, that's fine. She's good. I gave her the vest from the Olympics. She's like, I'm in my vest. I'm like, okay.
She's never taken that thing off.
She's like, I'm going to the party store. She's hosting a big party tonight. So,
nice.
Yeah. Well, it's my 30th birthday in a couple of days. So it's
on Monday.
Oh my gosh. What a year you're going to have here. Like just a full year of celebrations.
Seriously.
And it's interesting too, because, we get asked a lot as the PWHPA players, what keeps you coming back to the rink, especially like we're not making a ton of money, if any at all. And exactly what you just said, like surrounding yourself with people that makes it enjoyable every day to show up to work. And I think that's an incredible thing that you've been able to branch out into your, professional networks on your sponsorship side, because really at the end of the day, if you don't like showing up, it gets really difficult really fast.
Yes, big time.
So we do want to talk, we'll go back a little bit to Hockey Canada, because in talking to some of those girls that have come back, it seems like this year was, kind of accumulation of the last 4 years of really trying to build a strong team identity. And I think it was like top down, Gina Kingsbury, obviously right through the coaches, Troy Ryan, Corey Chevry, Doug Duro, who you had as a coach at Cornell as well.
Cornell.
And Ali Domenico. So I just want to get kind of your inside take on, why this team is so special. We hear all the interviews was just like this team, it just had something. So I want to get your take on that. And also, Kax and I know you. We know that you're an incredible teammate. It was definitely not hard for you to fit in that culture. And just talk about, why that's important, why it's important to create an environment of team that you can show up to every day.
Yeah.
Sorry, that question was 25 minutes long.
How much time do I have? I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this
as long as you want.
This is my favorite question. Because there's nothing I'd rather talk about than that group of girls and that staff. And you guys know, like even us in the P-Dub, like we're all on different teams, but we all have this like crazy bond. I find doesn't matter who it is on what team, like, and I feel like when you're fighting for something together, it just brings you together on a whole other level than anyone else. Yeah. And that vibe, that energy that we had there, like that was just the same for the national team. And, whether it was building for 4 years or, when we finally named that centralized roster, and it was like, hey, this is it. This is going to be our glue. Like, this is the group. Like you said, top down, something really magical happened when that team was named. And I think it was just the freedom of being authentic, honestly. And it kind of sounds corny. But I said right away, like, I'll never forget the first week I made it like a personal challenge. I was like, I'm going up to every one of these rookies And I'm making sure that they know that I'm ridiculous and I'm a goof and I'm open. And I want them to do the exact same, because if they don't, we're going to lose. Like, that's it. Like, we're not going to win if you're not yourself. And every like month or so, I'd like check in and be like, hey, how you doing? You know? And one time I asked a rookie, I was like, hey, like, are you feeling okay? Like, are you feeling well? Like, are you feeling good at the group? And she didn't know what I was talking about. Like, she was actually confused. And I literally was just like,
job well done.
That's it. Like, that's what you strive for with a team, with a group of people, with anything. And for us, like, that was it. Like, everybody was themselves, and they knew that, like, when they had that chance to perform, like, all they had to worry about was being them. Like, they didn't have to worry about anything else. Like, manage your anxiety. We got you, you know, manage your stress, manage these new situations, manage the pressure of millions of people. Like, we got you. And I think everybody knew that all they had to worry about was them in that gold medal moment. And honestly, like, it sounds a little bit, I don't know what the word is, overconfident, but like, I knew 5 minutes in that game, you're winning that gold medal. Like, I just knew in my heart. I would never say it out loud. I would knock on wood.
Right.
But I just knew, even when we got that goal scored back, and, you know, and like, the energy just didn't change. Like, even Troy on the bench was like, yeah, like, guys, it's probably not going to count. Like, let's keep going. And it was just like, usually in the past, like, I just feel like that would have just been like huge blows, and everything that happened would have been a huge blow. And this group had a way of taking like any blow that happened and making something really fun or magical out of it. And it sounds corny. I'm using kind of corny words, but it's, you know, it's true. It's actually hard to find words for it, but that's why we're golden. 100%. It's just because you're able to be you.
And it's so unique for us to experience that in women's hockey on that stage, because I think each of us, you know, every player that's played at any significant level has had that team where it's just like an it factor. Like, it's like you say, it's hard to explain, but you just have that feeling like, hey, like, even if things go bad, nothing can go wrong for us.
Right.
And like,
that's
to see it on full display. Like, I feel like Canada, especially, like, we were invested in this team. We felt it more than, you know, we have in the past. I was talking to Jana last night. Like, I felt like this is a team that I was, you know, I wanted to be a part of. Like, I wanted to know how you guys were like interacting, because you could just see it all over the ice.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And to bring it back, like, I know you don't want to talk about you too much. You know, that's just kind of the nature of your being, but this is something that you've been able to bring probably, you know, since you're a kid. How do you develop this identity as, I'm just going to be a goof, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be energetic? And how do you have that confidence no matter what dressing room you're in?
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, you know, I know how I want to be remembered. And I spoke to the girls before one of the games, and before I vogued and danced around the dressing room. But, you know, I did speak a little bit just about, you know, how we're going to be remembered. And, oh, sorry, my puppy's trying to get up. Yeah, just like what kind of legacy you want to leave. And, you know, for me, like, I knew very early on that, you know, I just wanted to be remembered, and I wanted to be known as that girl who made sure that you could just be you around, and that you would be so loved. And I wanted everyone to be like, oh my God, Jill loves me more than anyone else in the world. And, you know, that's just like who I am as a person. It doesn't matter who is sitting next to me in the room. That's what I wanted to be. And for anyone, any team. And I think for, you know, obviously it's a blessing, and I'm so humbled, you know, and honored to be able to be myself, and do that, chasing my lifelong dream with my 22 best friends. And, that was just something really important to me. Was just being a glue girl, like knowing that anyone could come around and ask me anything and have a shitty day. Like, when someone has a shitty day and they come to me, I'm like, yes, this is it. Like, this is why I'm here. Like, this is why I'm living, you know? And like, that was just it. And especially in that gold medal game, like, I'm a fourth line grinder. Like, I know my role in this team. And, you know, if the girls need me to hop out there and like get a couple quick strides in, put the puck on the ice on a penalty kill, like, if I do it once in this gold medal game, like, that's it. Like, yeah, like, that's my job. And now my job is to hype these girls up and make sure that they're the very best versions of them. And like, for the first time in my whole life, I was so proud of that job. Like, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And I made sure that my line mates knew that that's what they wanted to do too. And everybody did that. Like everybody did that. Our third goalie who never put her gear on was the best teammate I've ever had in my life, you know, and the most important teammate. And it's just people. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that attitude was contagious, right? So everyone else was like, you accepted that role and you went above and beyond to make everyone feel comfortable. And I bet you other people were just like, instead of being negative Nancy, forward line, I don't play, you know, all of that, that's also contagious. So you transform probably maybe certain people's attitude to be like, hey, maybe I should think twice about like being selfish for a second or like negative and not thinking about the rest of the team. Like, you were more than just a hype girl, Jill, but
hey, listen, like that's fine. Like I just love it. And I hope that like, and that's my job here. And I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, what's your plan? Like, do you want, you know, whatever to keep going? I was like, honestly, I don't know. But all I know is that like some kid that takes my spot one day, like they need to feel how I felt last week. Like they need to have that feeling. And this gold medal, like it's just a gold medal with rings on it. And it means so much. And everyone's is the same. And to me, as corny as that sounds, like that, like that's it. Like that's what I spent my whole life doing. It's like, why would I ever not own anything that I'm there for? Right.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on it there, you know, the kid that comes into your spot, and so much of, I think, our generation of player right now, you know, we're our late 20s or early 30s. And, you know, I don't know if it's biology or what, but it seems to be this like wave of how am I going to leave this game? We talked about it a little bit earlier in the episode. And I think a really important note that we should talk about, we have the rivalry rematch coming up in Pittsburgh, put on by the PWHPA and Pittsburgh Penguins. This is a first time thing that the Canadian and American Olympians are going to come back after a, you know, excruciating centralization process, going through cuts, like ups and downs, injuries, and you guys are going to take to the ice, and we'll call it a friendly, but we all know how that ends, to put the game back on the ice in Pittsburgh to give, you know, that community visibility for women's hockey. I just want to get a sense of, you know, what this rivalry rematch means, because at this point, you guys are pride exhausted, both teams. I mean, you guys have been wearing your heart on your sleeve, your country on your sleeve, but you're putting that aside somehow 3 weeks after the Olympics, and you're going to take to the ice again. Why? What does this symbolize? Why is it important that you guys do this?
Yeah. I mean, you said it, Knoxy, it's visibility. We need people to see, you know, to see how good we are. And it's almost getting annoying hearing people who just see us for the first time be like, oh my God, you guys are so talented.
So it's good.
Like, it's like, hey, like we've actually been around for 15 years. Like, so it's like, as silly as that sounds, it's like, that's what we need. Like, we need people to keep looking, to keep watching, and to keep being inspired, honestly, to like turn on the TVs. Like, hey, like, I can't do this. Like the women's game's on tonight. Like, let's rally around and do that. Like, that's the kind of hype we need around women's hockey. And, you know, obviously we're fighting for this right now, and it's going to happen. And we're fighting, you know, for just visibility anywhere on any level for us. But I think this game is huge too, because what we're doing is we're going off of something that was so viewed at the Olympics, which is great because people do tune into the Olympics because it's what we fight for. But we have the same pair of skates on 3 weeks later, and those 3 years in between that we do at the Olympics. And I think that's what's so important, is like, people need to understand that we try the exact same amount and we put the same, you know, performance on every single day with the PW and whatever else we're doing to grow this game. And then that's the only game that they end up, you know, people are tuning into. So I think something like this is huge because we're just going to keep snowballing on this, right? We're going to use these millions of viewers. Hopefully we get a few more, and it's just, we're just going to keep opening eyes. And we're just going to, we'll put our fatigue and whatever else aside. But we've been doing that our whole lives, right? You just, what you do what you got to do.
Yeah, this is like momentum to me as well too, right? So you come out of the Olympics and you're right, like people forget about anyone really for the, like, where have you been for the past 4 years? Like, you know, type of thing. It's like I tune in at the Olympics, that's it. So this is a way to keep it going, and then momentum to keep women's hockey actually in the conversation, like in people's minds. And that's why I think that rivalry game is going to be awesome. I'm like, excited. I don't even know what to expect, how it will be. Like you said, at fatigue, there's like injuries, there's plenty of stuff that like, come into place there. But I just think it's going to be fantastic for the people in Pittsburgh that will get to go watch live. And then for any of us that will be able to tune in and give that game of viewership and whatnot. But it's going to be awesome. You guys will play as intense as the final game, and the US will want to freaking beat you like crazy too. Like I'm just putting it together. I'm like,
no, it's going to be crazy.
I'm kidding.
And honestly, there might be. That's the thing with the Canada-US game is like, I honestly believe like I could be like dead asleep in my bed and someone would be like, hey, Canada-US game 5 minutes. And I would be like ready as I was for the gold medal game. Like there's just like something about that rivalry that is just like pure fuel. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if we just came off of an Olympic gold medal. Like the game's going to be the same intensity that it always is. It's the best rivalry in the world. Like, I just don't understand why the whole world doesn't watch. It's the most fun thing ever.
They nearly did.
They nearly did. You're right.
And of course, I'm, coming to you guys from Washington. Our girls flew in yesterday, a lot of the PWHPA girls, and they did a clinic. And the one thing I will say that I think, sometimes we take for granted in Montreal, Toronto, and these big hockey hubs, is just like Jill said at the beginning, like, we have women's hockey, girls hockey around us. Our girls walked into the arena and they had a mom run up to them and say, don't go anywhere. I want my daughter to meet you. Like she's never seen this many female pro hockey players. And it was kind of like an aha moment. This thing about this tour is like, it's great that we're in the hockey hubs, but it's even better that we get to go to these markets that literally have never seen, professional women's hockey on the ice. So I think it's such a cool experience. And I know Pittsburgh's going to be a great show. We're getting close to wrapping up, but I do want to kind of get a little informal again, because you said, I want to see your dog. Honestly, this is, I just want to see him.
Sure. This old thing?
Oh, come on. This is our first puppy on the podcast.
That's true. Actually,
you're famous. I just took his collar off. We got him a little maple leaf collar for tonight. So he's a good boy.
So cute.
And so what's his name, first of all?
This is Griffin, and Pepper is our other guy, and he's in Montreal.
Okay. So what does the summer look like for Jill, Pepper, and Griffin? What are we doing? Where do we find you? Yeah. What, like,
I do have a place in Montreal.
What kind of good trouble are you going to get into this?
I do. Yeah. This is off the record.
Yes.
You know what? I don't really know. Like, we had a little get together with the girls last week down south, and that was amazing. And I'm just home right now. I'm going to go down to Pittsburgh and then come back here after, I think. And just like I said at the beginning, just share the medal and kind of be around. I mean, I live on the ocean. I grew up on the ocean. So just being here, I think, and recharging and going back and forth to Montreal with the girls there is my current plan. But honestly, for the first time in my whole life, I don't have a plan.
That's blessed.
It's a little scary, but I mean, we're going to figure it out, and we're just going to go with it and just kind of enjoy the people that cross my path, and hopefully make it to as many places as I can, honestly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Take your time, unwind.
Yeah, exactly.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
You
unwind for a couple days, and then I am excited about Pittsburgh though. I think that'll be awesome. And like, just really quickly, because I know we have to go, but Knoxy, I did see like a video of the girls out on the ice with the P-Dub in Washington the other day, and it was really cute to see too, because like obviously the American Canadian rival is like so big, but these Canadian girls were out there with these little American girls dreaming, and like it was like so awesome. Like they just at that moment, like that didn't matter which country you were from, and you could tell they were just like starstruck over you guys, and like that. I mean, that says it all. That's literally what we're doing. Why we're doing what we're doing. So you guys kill it in Washington. I can't wait to watch. It's gonna be awesome.
And it's interesting too, because there are a lot of opinions outside the PWHPA. Is what we're doing right? Is it good? Is it bad? Whatever. But if you're in this circle and you show up to these showcases and you have those moments, honestly, it puts such a sense of pride in our players, from the Olympians right down to the non-Olympic players. If you've played 10 years in, the CW and now the PWHPA, or you're here for 1 year, I think it's really something
crazy.
It's hard to pinpoint, but it's a very cool feeling. And I'm just so happy that you guys are going to be bringing that vibe to Pittsburgh in 1 week. A week and a day.
A week and a day.
It's going to be crazy.
Lots of women's hockey.
Well, Jill, thank you so much, Kax. I don't know if you had anything else to ask or add.
No, it was a pleasure to have you on the pod. I absolutely loved every minute of it. Little sad Steiner didn't come back. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe she could come say bye. I don't know. Okay.
She's gonna be episode 13. We're just gonna have her on by herself.
Just have her. She'll cry the whole time. Like she'll I just love the beat up girls and the Canadian girls.
Well, honestly,
thank you so much. Seriously.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Thanks so much, Jill, for finding time for us. Enjoy the Porsche. Definitely send us a picture. Yes. We'll be looking forward to that. As we said earlier, you can see Jill and the Canadian American Olympians take to the ice in the Rivalry rematch presented in partnership by the PWHPA and the Pittsburgh Penguins, March 12th. That is the most P sound in a freaking sentence I've ever said.
PWHPA.
That was.
All the details you need and more are at pwhpa.com. Thank you guys so much. Can't wait for next weekend.
Thank you guys. And thanks for picking me over Poulin this week. I appreciate that. I let her know.
For sure.
Top tier.
Makes sense.
The Knoxy and Kax Show on SDPN, produced in partnership with the PWHPA. Follow Knoxy and Kax on Twitter at 27Knoxy and at Karell Emard. The views expressed are those of the individuals and are not necessarily those of the PWHPA. Check out sdpn.ca for more Knoxy and Kax and the rest of the SDPN crew.
She scores!